Alright, so I tried to record this, but I saw that my email was leaked, so I didn't want to leak it. But here I am again. I'm gonna show you two trades that I took yesterday, which was Monday, uh, 2024 04 22. Um, yeah, so let's get to it. For this, I used a couple of things for these trades. For a lot of confirmations, basically confluence, just using one confirmation on top of another confirmation. So first of all, I used support and resistance. Second of all, I used EMAs, particularly 100, 50, 20, and 10. Then I used Fibonacci with basically, normal Fibonacci that you have with 38.2, um, 61.8, 78.6, and there's one more, I think, 50%. I used those. What else did I use? Let me think. I used trend. Very important. This is probably the most important here. Um, Breakouts. What else? Stochastic RSI, as you can see on the screen. I think that's it. Yeah. So on this first trade, I did not use EMAs. Um, I did use them as confirmation. As you can see, we see that there's a bit of rejection on the 50 EMA. We also see that it's a downtrend, but this wasn't necessary. We also saw that the 20 and the 10 moved into a downtrend. This red line here, or this red EMA, is 10, and the blue one is 20. And yeah, basically this happened at London Open. And whenever London Open happened, I decided to go in because I saw that it broke out of the new lows here, which spelled the fact that most likely it's going to go down. My trade was 2-1. Stop loss was above the previous lower high. We also saw that before I took the trade, I saw that it resisted this zone here, as you can see, moved up, failed to break here, and then moved down on the London Open with the breakout here. Another thing to notice is on 1 hour, we also saw that it was overbought here, which was another confirmation to get into the trade. There's also a very small divergence here that you cannot see. As you can see, it's probably not a divergence nonetheless. I do use divergences as well, which I failed to mention here, but they're very, with stochastic RSI, using divergence is incredible. So that's how I made this trade. As you can see, it hit my support line here, and whenever it hit, it made this doji candle just reverse back up, which was I think this was like a sniper entry you could say or something like that. But yeah, as you can see, I made the trade whenever on a new candle here on a breakout, and that's exactly what I wanted to know, and I knew now that it's probably gonna go down. If we look where what this shows is, oops, well, we can see that there's an imbalance here, or some people may call it a fair value gap. And usually whenever there's an imbalance here, usually the price tends to go down after a long time. And this is exactly what happened. This has been like what? I don't even know. Like how much this has been. As you can see, 150 days, and hasn't moved to this position. And just today it did, and I capitalized off of that. I knew that most likely it's probably gonna go and fill this whole area in, and that's exactly what happened. Now it's just kind of moving up. I suspect that most likely we're gonna see these lows being chase down, meaning that most likely it's probably going to get to those areas and reverse. So that's what I believe, and that's probably what's going to happen here. Or it might get to something like this, for example, which is also very much possible. It's very hard to say, but all of these are perfectly fine. Sometimes the trades work, sometimes they don't. I was pretty much lucky here, and both my trades worked. I'm gonna go over to Euro AUD, which is a better trade that I got here. That was basically based off of uh, strategy alone. So it was very good. This was kind of intuition, you could say. Let me move this to. I don't know if you can copy paste it. I think you can. I actually made 3 trades. I'm going to cover the third one. I actually exited out at break even because I did not like how it moved. And, well, I can't say I was right about that. But it's always nice to trust your instinct and what you believe is right. If you don't believe that that trade is not going to work, just don't, like, sweat over it. Just exit out of the trade, right? So, why did I think? I mean, as you can see, this is just a beautiful trade. I don't think I have to explain much, but maybe I do for some of y'all. But as you can see, it's perfect, perfect resistance here at this zone, and I entered basically at the resistance. I got double confirmation from 15 minutes. I use this strategy that I'm not going to go in depth with, but basically whenever it touches the 100 and then it goes back to the 50 and the 20 and 10 EMAs cross over, showing that it's a downtrend, I get into the trade. And this is exactly what happened, as we can see. It went to it, it resisted it. I didn't enter here because of the EMAs. They weren't crossed in my favor, which again, if they were crossed in my favor, I probably would have entered, but I didn't. And so it went up again. It failed to go up, as we can see by this wick, and it shot down with this engulfing candle. And this is exactly where I entered because in 5 minutes we saw a breakout happening here. So what do we see? We saw that this was lower high, swing low, swing high, right? Broke the structure here, went down, failed to break this again. This is why I didn't enter here. Went back, failed to break this right here, went down, and there was a breakout. This is what I'm talking about. Breakouts, they're very powerful if you use context. And as you can see, this is exactly what happened. It went up a bit more to collect liquidity for the people who have tight stop losses, and then it went down. And this is where on 15 minutes, I usually use 15 minutes if I look at if I look at EMAs. And I didn't really look at these ones. I knew exactly that it was gonna go down because of the breakout. That's all I needed. But as you can see later on, it did cross over. The red line is what is it? 10 EMA, and the blue line is 20 EMA. We also saw on 1 hour that I think it was. I mean, it almost was overbought, which is exactly just what I needed, to be frankly honest, because there was also a divergence here if you don't see it. Usually when this type of pattern happens, uh, usually that says that most likely this is gonna move down, and that's exactly what happened. As you can see, I waited for this breakout. This is actually took a long time for this to happen, and finally happened at when I was sleeping. It went down to my take profit. But as you can see, the initial move down was very, very aggressive. It broke structure here, then it went back to it to test to test these here, and it rejected. Slowly went down. As you can see, broke. Basically, this was like a breakout. On 15 minutes, it wasn't. You can see that it kind of was actually, yeah. So there you go. But I didn't like this. Um, but then again, this move right here, which was in the Asian session, it just this move said everything, and yeah, we knew exactly where that was going to go. So pretty good trade, 3 to 1. I risked 1% of the account, and I made this trade happen, which I very much uh, liked. if I'm not mistaken, I don't think I looked at the. No, I did not look at the stochastic RSI here, but a normal 2 to 1 would have been here, right? And maybe like even here, right? That's it. That's all you kind of need, but I for me it was a bit better. So there you go. This could have taken like a couple of hours to make. I put too much stress on myself for a little more, which is again something I need to work on. Let's look at NSD CAD, and this is another trade that I made, but I exited out of it because I did not like how it moved. First of all, we saw that okay, we saw that there was a breakout here, a very big one as well, and overall, I used the daily to look for trends. So, for example, as we can see here, we can see that it failed. There was a lot of consolidation here, then it went down, failed to go up here, went down again, and basically what this meant, because it basically broke this, and this said that most likely we're in a downtrend. So again, this was what do you call it? Um, this was confirmed by this move up. As we can see, failed to break this. It wasn't very strong, and then went move down. And this is where I believe that most likely it's supposed to go down even more. But there's actually a couple of things that can happen here. Okay, usually entering a position like this, for example, like right here, would have been the best. Why is it? Because the stochastic RSI says that it is overbought. We also have, I think there was a Fibonacci here. Sorry about that. Um, as you can see, reached 61.8, which is basically the end point. Sometimes it reaches 78.6, but that's a very rare occasion. And so it reached this point and when then retraced. And this would have been a very good entry to go in, but I didn't do it. So I didn't do it because I think at this time I did not trade and I didn't need to trade. So I entered here, which was a very late entry, and as we can see, we saw this right here. This is like you could say a resistance, and this resistance happened. But previous, as we can see here, it already went up, touched these wicks right here, went down, failed to go down, and then went up again, which spelled the fact that most likely, it's probably going to consolidate or move up. So I still decided to go into the trade because of like the daily bias, but I later on exited out of the trade because it just didn't look really that good to me. As you can see, even right now, it's just kind of like consolidating. It's not doing anything. So usually when you see this type of moves, that means, and you can see on stochastic RSI also says that it was kind of oversold, which then set up, maybe this isn't a very good position after all. So yeah, but this still has the ability to go down, absolutely, especially now that we have on 1 hour we have the 100 EMA reached, and then it crossed or it went down to 50 EMA, crossed 50 EMA. We could have entered this position, but again, as you know before, we need double confirmation from EMAs to actually enter buy EMAs. So we should have looked at 10 and 20. As you can see, 10 is above 20, which is bad, and that means that this is a no-no. Later on, I decided to enter nonetheless because of again, this was entering here was not a bad choice, but like if for example if you were to enter here, right, that would not be bad, absolutely not. But as you can see, for me this would have been sleeping time, so I didn't do it. And yeah, could have made a 3 to 1 here, but again, this is very hard. It's very hard to say, and again, nobody would make the stop loss so tight. Um, yeah, yeah. I mean, this has potential. The reason why this has potential, this can still go down. I don't know if it will. For what it looks like, it probably won't. But if it does go down, and it breaks this structure and also this structure, most likely it's going to get to this imbalance as we can see here. There's an imbalance here that also has to be filled. So that this is where my take profit is a virtual take profit, quote unquote, because I'm not in this position at all anymore. And I genuinely just don't like it. So there you go. That's basically my trading analysis for you guys. If you have any questions about anything, I'm happy to help. This is why I created this channel, is to help other people, also share my analysis because I really like trading and I want to share more with people and my progress as well of what I've done. Um, Lately, I've kind of figured out that I just kind of want to cover like the best trades that I've made, um, because I don't know, it's just like uh, I don't know. I want to cover trades that I've already made as well, because usually it seems like every single uh, trade prior to when I was analyzing them, every single one I lost. So I think from now on, I'm probably gonna do on this channel is just kind of like cover bits and parts of my trading that I win. And most of the time, I don't want to boast, but most of the time it does become successful, and I with the confluence that I have at the moment with the strategy that I'm using here, seems like every single time it's a very good trade, but obviously there might be a bad one. Um, uh, Honestly, all it comes down to is, and this is one thing I failed to mention in this one, is yeah, I can't, is discipline. This comes from experience, and it's just price reading, knowing when to exit the trade, knowing when to enter the trade, and yeah, something I have to work on still, and I think it's just something that every single person has to master if they want to become a successful trader. That's it. So, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in another video.